Corry, editor of Air and Travel magazine, joins us now. Eoghan, I am somebody who is flying out. I'm flying out on Sunday, and I'm nervous and I'm wary. What should I expect?
Nervous and wary myself. I'm also flying out Sunday. But what we've seen since this story initially broke and social media got flooded with stories of people missing flights are not being missed. And the queues have peaked at around 1 hour for security, and what used to be called fast track running at about 30 minutes went to 70 minutes one morning last week. But flights are not being missed, and that is probably the key change.
Now, here's the question for you. You say flights are not being missed and security is running at about an hour, but we've been told to turn up 3.5 hours early. For those of us who on occasion cut things a little bit fine, do we need to turn up 3.5 hours?
This is very interesting because everybody was told to turn up early, and Dublin Airport did also something very clever. They rostered security through the night, so even at a time there are no flights, there was security in place. The real problem that emerged last weekend is that people were turning up 4 hours, 5 hours early, and while there was only 2 security channels open before 6 a.m, that's when the queues began to accumulate. A lot of people, very scared, arriving before people had been rostered into security. Dublin Airport this week telling us if you're flying around 8 o'clock, don't turn up at 3 in. Don't let the 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock people get through first. Ryanair also saying don't turn up earlier than 2.5 hours. What we saw was immense.
2.5.
Two and a half for Ryanair, and Ryanair are all short haul. There's other factors here, Ciara. You got to remember if you're flying west, that everything is clogged up. The check-in bag queue is clogged up a little bit as well. There's a separate security for United States, which is taking 20 minutes, and US immigration is taking 45 minutes. So in that case, even if you have 3 hours, you're barely going to make your flight. But if you've got no check-in bags and you're going to Spain, you'll be fine on the 2.5. I do think you need to push it a little bit further, because the real drama here is not that the queues are, that what Dublin Airport's advice is wavering a little bit, or saying, don't turn up early but not too early, but it's unpredictable. A COVID cluster creating absences in security in a position where they're already understaffed could have bad consequences over the weekend. It's going to be the busiest Friday since 2019. 304 flights departing this Good Friday. We're back to the levels of 2019, and that's a big test for Dublin Airport, considering the number of staff that they have lost.
And do you know, Eoghan, at this point, how much longer is the airport going to be like this? How much longer before we can go back to turning up maybe 2 hours before a flight, 3 hours before a long haul?
Hopefully end of May. 6 weeks is the training for the 100 people that they have recruited, and the security clearances, and that will run us.
They let 300 people go and they've only recruited 100 people. Is there something missing in that?
There were 1,000 people let go through the airport, and there are about just over 600 staff. So I'm not sure that 300 security staff were let go. They say that when they get up and running for June, they will hope to have excess capacity and to be in a position where they can deal with sicknesses or sudden illnesses. That is the trait throughout Europe, that COVID is creating a higher level of sudden absences than would be expected otherwise. We're an English-speaking country. We get a lot of English media. We know about Manchester. But all through Europe, airports are encountering the difficulties that Dublin is encountering.
All right, so the bottom line is don't turn up too early. 3.5 hours is plenty. Ryanair is saying 2.5 hours. And the queues on average, we're not talking long haul here, that seems to be very squeezed. The queues on average, you will get through security hour and a half kind of thing.
Hour and a half, and so what used to be called fast track, I don't know what you call it now, is 30 minutes, yeah.
All right, look, thank you very much for bringing that. Some reassurance for people who might be travelling this weekend.
Always a pleasure, Ciara.
Editor of Air and Travel magazine.